Tea, which is botanically known as Camellia sinensis, was earlier known as Thea sinensis and is native of southwest China, Nepal and Himalayan range. In early 1820s, the British East Indian Company started large scale production of tea in Assam. Today, India is one of the largest producers in the world. The major tea producing states in India are Assam, West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Tripura, Arunachal Pradesh, Himachal Pradesh, Karnataka, Sikkim, Nagaland, Uttarakhand, Manipur, Mizoram, Meghalaya, Bihar and Orissa. Tea is an aromatic beverage commonly prepared by pouring boiling water over cured leaves of the leaf Camellia sinensis. In India, it is prepared by adding milk and sugar. India has the traditional use of herbal teas such as holy basil, that is tulasi, cardamom, pepper, mint, etc. These are blended with the tea and numerous kinds of masala tea, herbal tea are made available very popularly. Tea contains flavonoids, naturally occurring compounds that have antioxidant properties. Tea flavonoids often provide bioactive compounds that help to neutralize free radicals which help in preventing heart disease, stroke and cancer. Now we will discuss the climate and soil requirement of tea. Tea in fact requires well drained soil with high amount of organic matter and pH ranging from 4.5 to 5.5. The performance of tea is excellent at elevations ranging from 1000 to 2500 meter above mean sea level. Optimum temperature is 20 to 27 degree centigrade. Varieties. Tea is actually produced from the evergreen Camellia sinensis plants grown widely in the tropical and subtropical regions of the world. In India, two major varieties of tea are Camellia sinensis variety sinensis, Camellia sinensis variety assamica. They are referred to as Camellia sinensis and Camellia assamica. Camellia sinensis thrives in the cool, high mountain regions. It grows to about 2 meters in height and has dark colored leaves which feel almost leathery. Its buds have a brownish hue while the larger leaves tend to be mildly serrated. Camellia assamica grows best in the moist tropical climate found in northeastern India, a small tree which grows to be about height of 10 to 13 meters. Varieties are members of species that have some physical characteristic that distinguish them from one another, but that are not so different that they are considered as a different species. Let us now see the propagation methods. Tea tree is propagated from seeds or cutting. Tea bushes will flower and produce fruits if they are more than 5 to 10 years old and have not been pruned for a year or more. In July-August, select strong high-yielding bushes as sources of seed. Stop plucking these bushes and start giving them balanced fertilizers. This will allow the bushes to make more seeds and better quality seeds. Tea bushes flower in October-December. When the tea fruits are matured and starting to open, collect the fruits to obtain the seeds. Propagation through cutting. In August-September, choose healthy, vigorous bushes to use as mother bushes. These bushes should not have been pruned in the last 4 to 9 months. Stop plucking these bushes and start applying extra fertilizers. Each mother bush can produce 100 to 150 cuttings per year. In respect of nursery, the nursery soil should be well drained and deep loamy in nature with pH 4.5 to 4.8. The soil and sand used in the preparation of rooting media should be tested for pH and nematode infestation. Pre-treatment of rooting medium. If the pH is very high, treat with aluminum sulphate to reduce the soil pH. For this purpose, the nursery soil is formed into beds of 1 meter width, about 8 centimeter height and a convenient length. Then the beds are drenched with 2% solution of aluminum sulphate applied at the rate of 10 liters per 2.5 square meter of area. Over this, another layer of soil of 8 centimeter height is spread and again drenched with the equal quantity of water twice. Then the soil is allowed to dry and pH is checked before use in the nursery. Preparation of the sleeves. Polythene sleeves of 150 or 200 gauge and 10 centimeter width and 30 to 45 centimeter length may be used for nursery purposes. Drainage holes may be provided at the bottom. The lower 3/4 of the sleeves should be filled with 1:3 sand and soil mixture and the top 1/4 with 1:1 sand and soil mixture and staked in rows. Overhead shade is provided. Then we will see the selection of mother bush and its treatment. Healthy and vigorously growing high yielding bushes should be selected. Applied to each selected bushes a 40 gram of young tea mixture plus 60:90 NK mixture up to 5 years. Some of the many recommendations for these mother bushes are: we have to give 0.5% of aluminum sulphate and 1% of magnesium sulphate, that is just 3 weeks before plucking the cuttings, or 2% of zinc sulphate before 2 weeks of collection of cuttings, and also 1% of urea before 1 week of collection of cutting. Then preparation of cuttings. Say cuttings are taken from these mother bushes during April, May and August, September. Semi-hardwood cuttings are prepared with one leaf and an internode with a slanting cut at the bottom. The sleeves are watered thoroughly and the holes are made in the soil. The cuttings are inserted in the hole and the soil around it is pressed firmly to avoid airspace, followed by watering. Small polythene tents may be provided which maintain high humidity and regulate the temperature inside. Cutting may take 10 to 12 weeks for rooting. After 90 days, that is when all the cuttings have rooted, the polythene tent may be removed gradually over a period of 10 to 15 days. Manuring the nursery we will see. After the tent is removed, the cuttings are sorted and staked. 30 grams of nursery soluble mixture of the composition at the rate of 10 liters of water may be applied over an area of 4 square centimeter. The fertilizer which are commonly applied in the nursery are ammonium phosphate 20:20 about 35 parts, potassium sulphate 15 parts, or we can take muriate of potash 12 parts by weight, magnesium sulphate 15 parts per weight and zinc sulphate 3 parts weight. Totally it contains about 80 parts. This is taken and applied in the nursery area. Next is hardening the cuttings. Once the cuttings develop roots, that is 2 to 4 months after planting, hardening of the young cuttings should be done by removing shades gradually in stages over a period of 4 to 6 weeks, starting from few hours exposed to sun every day initially and extending the time of exposure gradually in the subsequent days. Now we will see the planting and cropping systems followed in tea. Method of planting: single hedge system. In this method, the spacing adopted is 1.2 into 0.75 meter, which will accommodate about 10,800 plants per hectare. Next is the double hedge system. In this method, the spacing adopted is 1.35 meter into 0.75 meter into 0.75 meter, which will accommodate about 13,200 plants per hectare. Next we will see the season and planting in tea. May, June or September, October are the best season for planting. Sleeves should be opened lengthwise without injuring the roots and planted in the pit and the soil is gently pressed. After care requirement of tea plantations. See, perennial grasses can be controlled by spraying glyphosate at the rate of 1.75 liters plus kaolin 2 liters plus 2 kg of wetting agent in 450 liters of water, followed by Cramaxone 500 ml in 200 liters of water to control dicot weeds. Training and pruning. This is a very important operation as far as tea is concerned. First one is the centering. To induce more laterals, centering should be done 3 to 5 months after planting. The main leader stem should be cut, leaving 8 to 10 matured leaves. Then tipping. Tipping is done at a height of 35 cm from the second tipping at 60 cm from the ground level. Then pruning. Pruning is done to maintain the convenient height of the bush and also to remove dead and diseased branches. Area to be pruned every year is equal to total extent of the garden. Pruning interval is equal to elevation in feet divided by 1000 plus 1. For example, a plantation situated at 4000 feet means it should be pruned at 4 years interval. Pruning can be done during April, May or August, September accordingly. Now we will see the different types of pruning followed in tea. First one is the rejuvenation pruning. The whole bush should be cut near the ground level less than 30 centimeter with a view to rejuvenate the bush. Second type of pruning is the hard pruning. Here it is the hard pruning or the formative pruning of this is mainly confined to young tea at 30 to 40 centimeter height for proper spread of the bushes. Then medium pruning. This is to check the bush growing to an inconvenient height of this type of pruning is also to stimulate new wood and to maintain the foliage at lower levels less than say 60 centimeter. Then light pruning. Pruning depends on the previous history of the bush, raising the height of the medium pruning by an inch or less to a manageable height of say less than 6 centimeter for plucking purpose. Then last is the skiffing. This is the lightest of all pruning methods. A removal of only top 5 to 8 centimeter new growth is done so as to obtain a uniform level of pruning surface say more than 65 centimeter. Let us now see the water, nutrient and weed management in tea. Time of irrigation can be determined by judging the soil moisture content. Soil moisture can be determined by gravimetric method, resistance meter, neutron probe and tensiometer etc. Out of these equipments, the less sophisticated equipment is the tensiometer. For young tea areas, the tensiometer should be installed at 20 centimeter depth in the year of planting and subsequently lowered every year by 10 centimeter as the root system develops. For maturity, the tensiometer should be installed with its tip down to 90 centimeter depth below the ground surface. When tensiometer indicates suction equal to 0.5%, then irrigation should be started. Method of irrigation. Sprinkler irrigation is the most widely accepted method in tea gardens. Drip irrigation is confined to seed orchards. Then manuring. Manuring should be done 2 months after planting. Phosphorus should be applied at 80 to 100 kg per hectare as rock phosphate once in a year, placement at 15 to 20 centimeter depth up to the first pruning, thereafter once in 2 years. The year-wise nitrogen and potash application, that is kg per hectare per year, varies. For example, in the first year we give about 180 to 270 kg of urea. Then second year it may increase to 240 to 360 kg. Then third year 300 to 450 kg and fourth year 300 to 500 kg like this. Application of fertilizer should be done before the onset of monsoon months. Fertilizer should be broadcast around the drip circle, avoiding contact with the collar region. Special horticulture techniques. One is shade regulation. The pollarding of the shade trees should be done prior to heavy rains at a height of 8 to 10 meter from the ground level. Annual lopping, say cutting the erect type of branches on the laterals in shade trees before monsoon season is very important. Then we will see the important disorders found in tea industry. One is scales. The scales can be controlled by spraying carbaryl 50 vegetable powder at the rate of 2 gram per liter, or quinalphos 25 EC at the rate of 2 ml per liter, or chloropyrifos 20 EC at the rate of 2 ml per liter. Then phases borer. See, here we have to locate the particle mat covering at the base of the tea bush and we have to remove them. Insert a thick wire in the bore hole to kill the larvae. Then third is the thrips. They actually suck the young leaves. Spray azadirachtin 5% neem oil extract, concentration about 5 ml per 10 liter of water. Aphids, to control this we have to spray Fosolone 35% EC at the rate of 2 ml per liter. Red spider mite, pink mite and scarlet mite, they also attack the young tea, especially during the dry months. We have to spray azadirachtin 5% neem extract, concentration 5 ml per 10 liter of water. Tea mosquito bug, which is a minor pest now assuming a major role in tea industry. We have to monitor the incidence of tea mosquito bug at regular intervals. Removal of alternate hosts like neem, cashew, guava in the surroundings. When the infestation is lesser, spraying of any one of the chemicals like imidacloroprid 0.6 ml per liter or thiomethoxam 0.6 gram per liter or profenophos 2 ml per liter will control this blister fly, tea mosquito bug. Diseases affecting tea crop. One is the blister blight. It is a very deadly disease affecting the leaf and it can be controlled by following a proper schedule. For example, spraying 210 gram of copper oxychloride and nickel chloride per hectare at 5 days interval from June to September and 11 days interval in October to November depending upon the rainy months. Then black rot is another fungus disease. This fungi produces similar effect on the bushes and sometimes they occur together. They attack the maintenance leaves causing gradual deterioration of the health of the bush and consequently loss of crop. To control this, spray 210 gram of copper oxychloride, that is COC per hectare 1 week after first spell of rainfall in February and March and 15 days once thereafter. Harvesting. Plucking commences when the tea bush is 3 years old. Plucking of extreme tip of the growing branch consists of an unopened bud together with 2 leaves, which is popularly known as 2 leaves and a bud, while fine plucking is anything less than this. Plucking round. The plucking round describes the time interval in days between consecutive plucking. It varies from 4 to 14 days, though 7 days round is the most common practice. In South India, plucking continues throughout the year at weekly intervals during March, May and at intervals of 10 to 14 days during the other months. Rush period. During rush period, harvesting is done at 7 to 10 days interval and during the lean period, harvesting is done at 10 to 15 days interval. Fish leaf plucking, wherein the leaves are plucked above the fish leaf to raise the plucking table. Then single leaf or step up plucking, wherein plucking above the normal leaf to restore the volume of maintenance foliage when as and when required. The yield of green leaves is about 10 tons per hectare. Post harvest management. In tea, geographical indicators are becoming very popular. Based on the geographical aspects, Indian tea is described into 6 categories. They have distinct flavor. They are patented as geographical indicators, which includes Darjeeling tea, Assam tea, Nilgiris tea, Gangra tea, Munnar tea and Dusaderai tea, etc. Then we will see the important aspect of tea, namely processing. Tea plucked from the garden is sent to the factory for processing. It is processed in 4 distinct stages, which are withering, rolling, fermentation and drying. Each stage involves a characteristic change in the physical and biochemical composition of the leaves, and the cumulative effect of these changes are ultimately reflected in the quality of the finished product. Different steps are being followed to produce tea. Then plucking and leaf handling. Plucking of the 2 leaves and a bud involves a number of systems: janam plucking, fish leaf plucking, step up plucking, etc. Shear plucking is done when there is a scarcity of pluckers, especially during the rush period from July to September. Pluckers' productivity is found to be maximum in unpruned teas. The plucked leaves are processed to produce the black tea. Withering. It is a procedure which brings about the physical and chemical changes in the shoots to produce quality, apart from conditioning the flesh for rolling by reducing turgor, weight and volume. Previously, the flesh used to be withered under the sun. Now, this process is generally achieved either by thinly spreading the flesh on mats or in thick layers in troughs for 8 to 18 hours depending on the conditions of the leaves. Next is the rolling. The objective of rolling is to macerate the leaf so that enzymes and their substrates get intimately mixed up. This is achieved mechanically either by the use of an orthodox roller, the rotavan, or by CTC, crushing, tearing and curling machines. Rolling ruptures the cell walls, thereby enabling the production of enzymes. Fermentation. It is the process of oxidation of leaves. The mechanical aspect involves spreading out of the leaves macerated by rolling a layer 5 to 8 centimeter thick for 45 minutes to 3 hours depending on the quality of the leaves. Fermenting machines makes the process continuous, that is, every unit of macerated leaf has to be spread out for individual treatment. Then last one is the drying. Here it reduces the moisture content of the rolled and fermented leaves from 45 to 50% level to a 3% level in dried black tea. It also allows development of a black tea aroma. Drying is physically achieved by blowing out hot air through fermented leaves as they are conveyed in chains. The drying process lasts for about 20 minutes. Then sorting. See, sorting is defined as a procedure in which particles of bulk tea are separated into grades of different sizes. This sizing can be done either manually or by using different sizing equipments. Sorting measures of various sizes are used in the tea industry. Then grading. Basis of degrading we will see now. This grading is based on the amount of peco or orange peco present in the leaves. It is the presence of unopened terminal leaf buds without golden tips. This categorization takes into consideration the amount of terminal buds and one or two adjacent leaves in the teas at first. The leaves plucked during a flush after the slow growth periods, the young buds comes up with a golden tip. When there are abundance of flowery tips during a certain season, the harvest can produce flowery grade teas containing a lot of these golden tips. The tea sample containing enough of the golden tip earns a prefix tippy or the golden before their grading. Tea with maximum buds with golden tips and with whole leaves is theoretically considered as a topmost grade of the tea of a particular garden. Some of the terminologies used in grading we will see. One is the flowery peco. The first bud of a plant is called by this name. It is the newest and most tender part of the plant. The antioxidant component of the bud are quite substantial. Next one is the orange peco. This refers to the first whole leaf that follows the bud. It is the tenderest of all whole leaves and contains very high level of antioxidants. When this leaf is plucked along with the bud, we call it as imperial plucking, that is one bud plus one leaf. Then next is peco. The second leaf following the bud is called this by name. This leaf is a bit coarser than orange peco. When this leaf is plucked along with the bud and the first leaf, we call it as the fine plucking, that is one bud and two leaves. Then first souchong or peco souchong. This term denotes the third leaf that follows the bud and is the older and more fibrous than first two whole leaves. When this leaf is plucked along with the bud and the first two leaves, we call it as ordinary plucking, that is one bud with three leaves. Second souch or souchong. This is a comparatively inferior quality leaf and generally to avoid when producing orthodox tea. This leaf is more commonly for CTCT. Gango and Bohia. These are lower quality leaves and conventionally for producing CTCT. The flavor in the leaves is much coarser and stronger. Indian black tea gardens. In India, there are various ways of identifying the quality of black tea. Tea grades assigned to whole leaf black tea includes OP, that is orange pekoe, FOP, that is flowery orange pekoe, GFOP, golden flowery orange pekoe, TGFOP, tippy golden flowery orange pekoe, TGFOP1, tippy golden flowery orange pekoe 1, then FTGFOP, finest tippy golden flowery orange pekoe, FTGFOP1, finest tippy golden flowery orange pekoe 1, SFTGFOP, special finest tippy golden flowery orange pekoe, then SFTGFOP1, special finest tippy golden flowery orange pekoe 1. Tea gardens assigned to broken leaves. Some of the grades are which are popular in this group will be BOP, that is broken orange pekoe, BOP1, broken orange pekoe 1, FBOP, flowery broken orange pekoe, GPOP, golden broken orange pekoe, then GFBOP, golden flowery broken orange pekoe, TGBOP, tippy golden broken orange pekoe, BP, broken pekoe, third leaf following the bud, BS, broken souch, F, fannings, and D is the dust. So, to sum up, tea was first commercially grown in India as early as 1820 by the British East Indian Company in Assam. Today it has become distinctly separate variety called by the name Camellia assamica. Assam tea is an aromatic beverage commonly prepared by pouring boiling water over cured leaves of Camellia sinensis. India, it is prepared by adding milk and sugar. Tea requires well drained soil with high amount of organic matter and pH 4.5 to 5.5. The performance of tea is excellent at elevations ranging from 1000 to 2500 meter above MSL. Optimum temperature is 20 to 27 degrees C. The tea tree is propagated from seeds or cuttings. There are number of cultivars, clones and biclonal seed stalks and grafts in tea. Planting is done in single or double head system which accommodate about 10,800 to 30,200 plants respectively per hectare. Tea needs systematic pruning and training or else it will grow into a big tree of about 49 feet tall. They are maintained at about 2.5 feet height which is called the table height. Plucking commences when the tea bush is about 3 years old. Plucking of extreme tip of the growing branch consists of an unopened bud together with the two leaves which is popularly known as two leaves and a bud, while fine plucking is anything less than this. Plucking round varies from 4 to 14 days, though 7 days round is the most common practice. The yield of green leaves is about 10 tons per hectare. Indian major geographical indicator tea categories include Darjeeling tea, Assam tea, Nilgiri tea, Gangra tea, Munnar tea and Dwas Darai tea, etc. Tea plucked from the garden is sent to the factories and processed into white tea, green tea, oolong tea and black tea. Tea is graded into 19 grades through standard procedures from SFGFOP1 to as lowest grade as dust.